So this video is by Dan Cole. And yo, whenever I watch this guy video, sometimes I be staying away from his videos, bro, because he be giving you like a radical like perspective shift to where like it's like man, like each one of his videos will transform you. So if you're seeing this video, watch until the end of the video. Join me on learning how to build a personal brand better than 99% of people. So we're gonna watch this together and we're gonna learn and we're gonna that's just what we do. That's just what I'm doing over here right now. You feel me? I'm learning, so why not record it, screen record as I go and you guys join me on this journey. It's content and it keeps me consistent. So hey, let's get into it.
I never thought that I was going to have a personal brand. Back in 2016 or so, I was a freshman in college, and my friend and I, who lived on the same floor, started a YouTube channel. It's actually this YouTube channel that you're watching right now, but all of the videos are deleted. So I've had this channel for that long. And in the past, we made like videos on calisthenics. We did eating challenges, like a 10,000 calorie challenge, and other like talking head videos. And it didn't get anywhere. We didn't know what we were doing. But that wasn't the end. I always had this desire to do something creative. I didn't think it was going to be a personal brand by any means, but I wanted to do something. And so naturally I started experimenting with other things, and I got into photography / digital art / editing. I really like the editing portion of it. And if you scroll to the bottom of my Instagram, you can see those edits. And that's technically when the name The Dan Co, or my handle, was born. I was a lifeguard over the summers, and I was trying to think of, okay, what should I name my Instagram page? And my coworkers at the time were like, oh, what if you just shorten your name to this? And I'm like, okay, whatever. And it just stuck. Now, I gained some followers doing the digital art and editing, but I eventually burned out because I tried to do one edit a day, and I couldn't handle taking Adderall every morning and busting out 6 hours staring at Photoshop. So that failed. But I really, really, really didn't want to get a job after graduating college. That was like my driving force. I never really knew what I wanted to be when I grew up, but I did know that I didn't want to be like most people. So onward to more businesses. I tried building 3 e-commerce stores. One was drop shipping rave clothes. The other was minimalist wallets. The other was blue light glasses. And after taking courses on Facebook ads and borrowing borrowing $2,000 from my dad, I eventually racked up a total of $8,000 as a junior.
All right. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure the mic is loud enough. Yo, yo. Yeah. Alright, Alright, sorry about that. But let's bring it back a little bit. A matter of fact, let's start it right back and then go again. Let's go again.
I never thought that I was going to have a personal brand. Back in 2016 or so, I was a freshman in college, and my friend and I, who lived on the same floor, started a YouTube channel. It's actually this YouTube channel that you're watching right now, but all of the videos are deleted. So I've had this channel for that long. And in the past, we made like videos on calisthenics. We did eating challenges, like a 10,000 calorie challenge, and other like talking head videos. And it didn't get anywhere. We didn't know what we were doing. But that wasn't the end. I always had this desire to do something creative. I didn't think it was going to be a personal brand by any means, but I wanted to do something. And so naturally I started experimenting with other things, and I got into photography / digital art / editing. I really like the editing portion of it. And if you scroll to the bottom of my Instagram, you can see those edits. And that's technically when the name The Dan Co, or my handle, was born. I was a lifeguard over the summers, and I was trying to think of, okay, what should I name my Instagram page? And my coworkers at the time were like, oh, what if you just shorten your name to this? And I'm like, okay, whatever. And it just stuck. Now, I gained some followers doing the digital art and editing, but I eventually burned out because I tried to do one edit a day, and I couldn't handle taking Adderall every morning and busting out 6 hours.
Wow.
I wonder what that project deadline was.
Yo, wait.
staring at Photoshop. So that
Damn,
failed.
that's
But I really, really, really didn't want to get a job after graduating college. That was like my driving force. I never really knew what I wanted to be when I grew up, but I did know that I didn't want to be like most people. So onward to more businesses. I tried building 3 e-commerce stores. One was drop shipping rave clothes. The other was minimalist wallets. The other was blue light glasses. And after taking courses on Facebook ads and borrowing $8,000, not $8,000, borrowing $2,000 from my dad, I eventually racked up a total of $8,000 as a junior in college. And that was just after a bunch of short-lived ventures like the 3 e-commerce stores, an SEO agency, a content marketing agency, trying to do web design, trying to do Facebook ads, trying to do all of these things, and being $8,000 in debt as a broke college kid who's already living with 7 other dudes trying to lower their rent to like $200, $300 a month while working part-time. That's not a good spot to be in. That's a lot of stress.
Painful,
Now, for the climax, I ended up getting a job. I had been studying programming because I learned that it was something that I could do without a degree. And I thought, okay, well, if I learn this,
You know what? I'm just thinking about it. It's kind of crazy how I want a girlfriend. I want to have a girlfriend. But I'm going to get myself in the right position first before I get a girlfriend. She going to be one lucky girl, man, cuz
maybe that's my backup plan.
she going to be I don't know. This is off topic, but I know this she going to be one lucky girl for real. Real talk. She gonna be so lucky, bro. She gonna have one of the best lives like a human being can ever have. Like,
Right? I'm not going to be able to get a degree in programming, but I know I can learn it very quick because I'm good at self-educating. And so that's what I did. And I ended up getting a very base level web design job at an agency in Arizona where pretty much I would spend the first few hours of my day working on my own stuff because I learned the brutal reality of working a desk job early on is that most of your work is just procrastination. You're not really doing anything. Most people that work a desk job, I say most people, I know there's exceptions. Most people can work on their own stuff, procrastinate their work like I did until the end, and then just copy paste templates for the e-commerce stores that I was working with and call it a day and get paid. But I knew that if I stayed in that job for too long, I would get comfortable. The wife, the mortgage, the kids, the responsibilities, nothing wrong with those things, but it would just like pile drive me into the state of not having any time, money, or energy. My life at that point would then just go on autopilot. Now, to keep this brief, I ended up making freelance web design work. So while I was at my job and I procrastinated.
facts. That is how I feel right now because my focus right now is to not necessarily not work hard. I want to work hard, but at the right things, at meaningful things. I want to go in the gym and go crazy in the gym, not at a job for someone else. You get what I'm saying? I want my hard work to come back and pay me in the future. And going in the gym and sculpt my body the way I want it from how I see it in my mind and bring it into reality. That is integration. That is the hard work that I want to do. You get what I'm saying? You know, so all this other like jobs, and I understand it does have its place, but right now I just want to make sure I'm investing all my time and energy into things like this that are going to bring me back a bigger return. It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, but might be 5 months from now, a year from now. All of these videos that I have on all these YouTube platforms, all these platforms, once one of these videos do get a break where one of these videos are going crazy, everything else is gonna come running behind it. You know, get what I'm saying? So it's all about having the system in place and having the right structure. So when that attention do start to come in, you already have your bucket set to catch the money. You get what I'm saying? So it might takes a little bit longer, but it's more intentional and it's more stable when it does happen. My success is not gonna be like other success of other people where it just fall off or No, it's gonna be solid and firm because of the value. And I just shout out to Dan Cole. Even reacting to content like this and creating this content, this is valuable content because you guys are not only, watching me learn. You guys are learning with me to get. We're learning together. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's much better than that? Like, yes, I could go on his video and watch it all by myself, but I feel like this is a better experience when I'm watching it and I'm doing it with y'all at the same time. It's just different for real.
Did all my work, I would just try to land freelance clients for my web design stuff because that's what I worked in, that's what I understood. I had a general understanding of how to help people with web design. But after making the freelance web design thing work, I realized that I had just built myself into a second 9 to 5 because I was still working on client projects. I was still working on projects that I didn't care about.
Yeah.
So with all of this stuff circulating,
Stuff that I don't care about. That's the point. I want to, when I'm working, I want to work on something I care about, something that's purposeful. For example, I love cooking. So I'm now thinking about like catering and like making recipes and stuff like that. And speaking of recipes, check the description down below. That link, that stand store link, when you go on it, there's a recipe on it for y'all. Yo, that's one of the, if you're someone that want a healthy, recipe, a Jamaican, a healthy recipe with potatoes, mushroom, peppers, onions, like, um, it's so good, man. Like, you gotta try it. A matter of fact, I'm gonna have to do a video on that, and I'm gonna have to do a video on separate for that because it's so good.
in my head. It's not just like one decision of, oh, should I start a personal brand? I was in this job. Well, I was in a job that I hated. Then I went into freelancing, which I hated. And I'd already tried so many different things. So I had like, my brain was primed to make this decision. That's when I really discovered the power of social media. People were just posting about their knowledge and interests, and I felt like I could write similar to what they posted. They didn't have to constantly reach out to clients because their content attracted the clients. And I saw web designers selling digital products that required zero effort, kinda, beyond creating the product to make money. So it checked all the boxes, but I had already tried that, right, with the YouTube stuff. And I had already built some kind of an audience with the digital art, but I had no idea how to monetize that. Now, as time has gone by, as you guys can see now, I have a rather successful personal brand, if that's what you want to call it. And I had learned so much from my prior business failures and my freelancing stuff and building web design digital products and other things of that nature that I eventually started helping people with their brand, right? I was a brand advisor for like a year or two, and that's still kind of what I consider myself. If I were to label myself as two things, it would be a writer because I am an author, I write content, that's what I like doing, and then a brand advisor where I help people set up their brands to do what they want in the unique way that I've discovered. So part of that is what I'm here to share with you today.
So
I want to give you the pieces that help you build a better personal
more.
brand than what 99.
I gotta start watching his content some more. So if y'all want to see more video of him, make sure y'all leave it in the comments and let me know. Yeah, I'm gonna start watching a lot more of his videos. So if you guys wanna me to make more videos like this, let me know, man. Let me know. Let me know.
Percent of people can do. So let's start with a quote from Naval. Artists are, by definition, authentic. Entrepreneurs are authentic too. Who's going to be Elon Musk? Who's going to be Jack Dorsey? These people are authentic, and the businesses and products they create are authentic to their desires and means. That is from Naval's piece called Escape Competition Through Authenticity. Now let's speed this up a bit. You're here because you have interests or skills that you want to turn into.
He just dropped a gem. Escape competition through authenticity. Wow. Wow. 1 second, I'm making sure the video that I just upload, it gets uploaded. Okay. Oh, did I uploaded on the wrong channel? It was uploaded on the wrong channel, but hey, I'm gonna leave it on there. Maybe it's supposed to go on there. Maybe it is fate. Maybe it is destiny. Maybe it is gonna go viral. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna leave it on there and I'm gonna put it on. Matter of fact, give me a second, guys. We working right now. Y'all see me working right now.
to a future-proof income source, but you don't want to become a hollow shell of a human being. You don't want to put yourself into a box. You don't want to build yourself into another 9-to-5. So I want to go over the highest impact things you could be doing. And these are the things that most beginners don't know because they haven't started, or they just glance over because they're told that other things are more important. Forget about your niche for now. Forget about your bio and banner and all of that stuff. It's important, but there are plenty of people with no bio and a blank profile picture doing just fine. Your content and the quality of ideas you post over a long enough time period are what create a brand that people can't help but trust. That's your entire business strategy. Trust. Money is a measure of trust. Now I'm going to teach you what I call the trust matrix. It's composed of 3 parts. There's growth, so doing what works to attract people. There's authenticity, which is expressing your core beliefs. And then there's authority, so displaying your expertise. Now, when I was a brand advisor a few years ago, I called this the social matrix, and there have been spin-offs of it since, which is great because it's going around, but this is kind of like the baseline of what you need to focus on. This is the big picture of personal branding as a whole. And then after we talk about the trust matrix, we'll talk about monetization. Like, how do you start to think about monetization as a personal brand? So the first pillar is growth. And with growth, you need to build your idea to execution muscle. A pattern I've noticed in successful creators.
Nothing makes me angrier when I get home from a long day and I just want to relax and watch YouTube, and then boom, you get...
The moment they notice an idea at the intersection of performance and excitement, they drop anything they were doing and write it down. These ideas typically come to them on a walk, while listening to an audiobook or video, while reading a book or heavy content, not brain rot social posts, or while having a conversation with others. Now, there are 2 pieces here. First is performance, so they understand how to articulate ideas in an engaging way. The ideas have the potential to do well. And then second, there's excitement, so they have a genuine interest in understanding the idea or articulating it in their own way. They see their brand as a collection of notes of these ideas. So that's how you generate ideas to talk about under your personal brand is performance. So will other people like it? Does it have the potential to do well? And excitement. Do you like it? Do you want to write about it? Everything becomes a source of ideas when you know how to articulate an idea in an engaging way and when you want to write about it. The reason most people struggle to come up with ideas worth writing about are those 2 reasons. Their mind isn't trained to be articulate, and they don't consume information at the edge of their understanding. So the single most beneficial thing you can do here for your writing is to use high-performing post structures as training wheels for your articulation. So when you have an idea, you can turn it into something that other people may like as well, and it will get shared and you may gain followers. So if you want to practice this, pull out a notebook or open a note-taking app, write down 5 to 10 writers, thinkers, or creators who you admire for their articulation. Spend 1 hour a day for the next week scrolling through their social accounts. And this part is important. Find their anomalies, the posts that have at least 2x the engagement as their other posts, and then screenshot or write them down in your note-taking app. The key shift here is you need to stop reading ideas on the internet as a consumer, and you need to start doing so as a researcher. You're doing it to generate ideas for your own writing. You aren't doing it for entertainment. Now, when you have saved or written down at least 20 to 30 posts that represent the articulation.
That's exactly what I'm doing with these videos. I'm just recording them, because then even as I'm learning, I'm getting new ideas. And you know what's funny about this? Over here, I can see videos over here that get me excited. By the time this one is done, I can just enter into a different flow again and just create another video right away. And it's so nice, bro. You can do this.
You want to,
like, you can do this too. It's just, do you have what it takes to sit down, be bored? And it's not even bored. It's just, do you like it? It's either you like it or you don't. I like this. I love to learn, and what's better way to create? I want to create and learn, and that's just, there's nothing I would rather do right now, for real.
Adopt. Break down why these posts work so well. So you have this note or document of other people's posts or ideas inside of it that you want to be able to articulate in that way. Under each of those, you write down 3 to 5 bullet points of why it did well, what psychological patterns are being used, how did it capture attention, what's the value there, why do people care, why did it do so well. Another thing you can do is just use this prompt where you can pause the screen right now, take a screenshot of it, and then copy paste it or do whatever. But you paste this prompt in, you add the social post to it, and then it will break down exactly why that worked, how it's structured, and how to replicate it, because it gives you a step-by-step way to replicate it with your own ideas. Now, the point with all of this is that you are dissecting why already validated ideas have done well when you practice writing in a way that stops the scroll and near.
You know what's crazy? I'm gonna talk to ChatGPT real quick and ask ChatGPT about the type of content that I'm making and see what it's gonna say. Hey, bear with me while I try to put this into words. It's probably gonna sound so messed up. So on my YouTube channel, Star Vibes Media, I am also reacting to videos of people that talk about personal brands such as Dan Coe, Dan Mortel, Gary V, and financial content, music video reaction, all these content on the same YouTube channel. I am just reacting to them, with a high quality video, and I'm giving my opinion based on what they say. What are your thoughts on this idea and approach to content creation? Let's see what ChatGPT is gonna spit out at me. That's a strong foundational idea, but to really maximize your impact, here are some honest pros, cons, and ways to improve. What's great about your approach? Authenticity win. Reacting with your own opinion is key. You're not just regurgitating info, you're building trust and authority by giving perspective. Broad content, broad reach. Mixing finance, personal brands, and music reaction exposes you to multiple audience segment, which can boost discoverability. Value stack content. You're combining entertainment, music, and education, inspiration. Wow. High quality production, good video. Wow, you've already ahead of many creators who overlook this. Potential weak points. Too many niches, confusing audience. Okay, I need to work on that. You risk becoming a variety channel that YouTube struggles to categorize, hurting your algorithm push. Ooh, viewers may subscribe for music and skip finance, vice versa, which tanks engagement over time. Ooh, no clear personal brand yet. Okay. Why should I care about your opinion? Okay. Okay. So in the intro of my videos, I have to let it known that this channel is about underdogs for real. Like it's about the people that are underestimated. We can rise together. Mm. You're on the right track and with high potential content. But to go viral, build trust and scale clarity, consistency, and key. Would you like me to help you? Okay. Okay, I like that. So there's a few things that I have to work on when it comes to the content that I post. So, I'm still experimenting. I'm still learning, still growing. And I feel like I have more of these videos that I want to put out there just to have them out there. And I like to experiment and I like to take my time. And even if it does hurt the engagement, I want to understand it, because later on I'll be able to teach people and how to overcome these things, because I spend the time and and did all the messed up thing that don't work. So now I have the key to get you to where you want to go faster. So I don't mind. I don't mind. That's a small price to pay for what's to come in the future.
Merely demands readers to absorb the idea way to replicate it with your own ideas. Now, the point with all of this is that you are dissecting why already validated ideas have done well. When you practice writing in a way that stops the scroll and nearly demands readers to absorb the idea, growth is a byproduct. So that's why this is called the growth pillar, because it helps with the growth of your audience. If your audience isn't growing, then you don't have an influx of traffic, so you won't get paid. You don't need to grow by thousands or millions of followers. You just need to be growing. Now, the click with this growth pillar is that validated ideas or things that make people grow are already out there, and it's up to you to find those,
Facts.
take those, and make them your own and experiment until you see consistent growth.
This is what I'm doing.
If you've been thinking about a degree in cybersecurity or IT, check out UMGC. Low cost tuition, 100% online.
Now, pillar 2 is authenticity, or the core beliefs
Wow.
to attract the right people. So far, in the growth pillar, you know how
Didn't it just say this? Didn't I just read it? ChatGPT be spitting, bro. Like, I'm telling you, y'all need to get on this. Like, it literally just gave me everything he's saying right now. Like,
to turn any idea into a social post that people can't ignore. But people don't follow ideas. They follow people who share ideas. Two people can write the same thing and people will perceive that post in drastically different ways. So take James Clear versus a random guy off the street, and imagine they both tweet, "Habits are good for you." Tens of millions of people know who James Clear is. They know his story. They've read his book on habits. They have a deep yet indirect relationship with him. Most people who read the tweet from James Clear will like and repost simply because it's James Clear. The fact that James Clear is saying it brings other ideas that the people are already aware of that they're perceiving the tweet from. But if a random guy posted it, "Habits are good," people would either ignore it or they would comment, "Yeah, no shit." So there are 3 things here. The first is time under attention. The more attention people give you, especially in long form content like articles, books, and videos, the more they perceive your posts through the rest of your ideas. So that's something to watch out for, is that I have 2 books now. I've been making YouTube videos for a long time. I have a lot of newsletter subscribers and get over 100,000 views on each newsletter article that I send out. So I can send simpler stuff. I can post simple content and people read it through the lens of, "Oh, Dan posted this. I know his entire philosophy. I know everything else. I'm going to like this." And that's a boost in engagement. Your engagement isn't only determined by the quality of the idea. It's determined by both the quality of the idea and your time spent in the game.
Facts.
That's why most beginners quit, because they never give themselves enough time
to
so that
suck.
people spend enough time with them. Now, the second thing is alignment of values. So when people know who you are, where you came from, and what you stand for, they form a deeper relationship with your ideas as a whole. And then the third is authentic polarization. Because if you're liked by everybody, you're liked by nobody. You need to give people reasons to heavily disagree and thus heavily agree with you. This is the difficult part of putting yourself out there. Now, all of these things don't need much explanation. You can directly observe that you feel a stronger connection with creators whose story and core beliefs you resonate with.
for
Imagine
real.
someone that you hate on social media. Many people hate me, but they will go and look at someone else who is saying the exact same thing, the exact same idea, but they're saying it through a different story, a different set of beliefs, a different lens, and they love that person. So it's typically not that you hate or love the specific person that you're following, it's that you resonate with them
That's facts. Wow.
more. This is why it's difficult for personal branding or the creator economy to get saturated, because everyone is talking through their own lens, their own story. It doesn't matter if that guy has already said all of the ideas that you want to say, because they're brought to a completely different light when you say them. And if you were presented a product to buy from some random brand and a creator selling the same thing that you love, one, you're probably not even going to know that the other brand exists because you follow the creator, but either way, if you're presented with both, you're going to buy the one from the creator because you trust them more. So how do we replicate this in our own brand? We need to illustrate our story and core beliefs often in our content, both as content topics and as ways of reframing ideas. As a content topic, I could talk about how I failed at 7 different business models. As a way of reframing an idea, I could talk about how to build a personal brand, which is validated and has high potential, and make that topic unique to me by starting with my story. That's exactly what I did at the start of this video. I started with a story, and that's what makes me talking about personal branding unique. Now, in terms of my core beliefs as a topic, I could talk about how I personally think that digital products are the best way for beginners to start, while other people think differently, but I have reasons behind why I think that is. Or since that's a belief of mine, is like a digital product, I could also reframe classic advice on building a product. I could go and learn how Steve Jobs builds a product, and I can frame that under a new lens, either for digital products or just for being a creator as a whole, rather than building a Fortune 500 company. So to do this well, write out where you were, what sparked change, and where you are now. For each topic or theme you talk about, list out core principles that you hold with conviction. Now, the thing about this is always difficult when you're just like sitting in front of a blank screen and trying to spit your beliefs on paper, because they don't all come to mind. They aren't just all sitting in your conscious mind. You have to dig them up from your unconscious. You have to think about this for like a week. You need to go and listen to content and let the ideas from that bring up ideas for you to write down along the way. But another way to do this is to just use AI to help guide our thinking. So I created a prompt that helps you extract your story and your beliefs, and then it tidies them all up nicely in like a singular document for you. So link to that is in the description, and also just while we're talking about it, and I know this is the same topic as the YouTube video, that's for a reason if people are actually interested, but if it is a goal of yours to start a personal brand, then I am running a challenge, a Build a Profitable Personal Brand in 30 Days challenge. Every single day you get an actionable lesson similar to what we talked about today, and you get the action steps for that lesson. It takes about 30 to 60 minutes a day, but by the end of the 30 days, you will have a foundation. You'll have an incredible personal brand that is ready to monetize. That starts on June 16th for those interested. Now, pillar number 3, and arguably the most important, is that persuasive education changes behavior. Most creators build education businesses. They teach their skills and interests. Now, of course, you can try to be the next big celebrity or OnlyFans model, but remember, we're aiming for some form of positive impact and meaningful work. Now, the thing is, there are so many creators who already teach what you want to teach. You can search any skill on YouTube and find a ton of videos on any topic. That's what trips up most beginners. They don't believe that people have a reason to follow them. Why would they learn from you when there are already plenty of people to learn from? So there are 2 solutions here. The first is to teach through a new lens, which is similar to what we just talked about. I could reframe a topic through your personal story or your core beliefs, like how I can talk about something as basic as personal branding, but I can frame it with my story. Or another way that I like to do this is by reframing through a novel idea. If you're following the instructions I gave you in the growth pillar, then you're consistently consuming or researching information to find ideas. For me, when I do this, something like Naval's ideas on ideas are the new oil, and this generation is getting rich in idea space, not physical space, then I can introduce the topic of a personal brand through that idea, and it's much more compelling and unique. So this generation is getting rich in idea space, not in physical space. So then I can say, okay, here's the traditional business models of the past. You need a physical location, you need all of these things. But with an online business, with a personal brand, you just need ideas. Now, the second solution is to persuade the non-interested. This answers most of your objections when it comes to building a personal brand. Most people on social media aren't intentionally trying to learn. If they were, they would physically search for a video, course, or article on the topic. And you are being spread to random people on social media. You don't control who sees your content by typing in their interests and demographics into something like Facebook ads. So you need to frame your ideas as broad and desirable. If I want to talk about personal branding, I don't go straight into giving people instructions on how to pick their topics or create a bio. That's boring. It won't get enough reach to spread to a new audience. What I would recommend going to research is the 5 levels of awareness in marketing. You have to know what level of awareness you are speaking to. When you create a product, you're speaking to a much higher level of awareness because they were aware enough of their problem to buy the product. So you don't have to start with all of that introduction and broad stuff that is better suited for social media. You just get straight into the details for what they purchased. But on social media,
if your funnel isn't working,
Yo,
you may
this
want to
is-
stop
this
looking
is-
at
yo,
design
this
and
is
start looking at your offer.
game,
Did you know that
bro.
90% of all
nobody is thinking about that. They're not trying to scroll for 10 minutes to find, oh, okay, here's how I build a personal brand. Oh, here's how I design a website. Oh, here's this. They're discovering new things. So the best way to practice this is to just start thinking in pain points and desired outcomes. So I could start with some permutation of if you want, which is a desire, or if you don't want, which is a pain point, then most people at least have a chance at becoming interested in what I have to say. So as an example, I can say if you hate the thought of building someone else's dreams for the rest of your life, start a personal brand. I could then go on to list the benefits of starting one, how low risk it can be, and how you can sell almost anything from digital products to software to physical products. I can
That's
make
so
a
true,
compelling
bro.
argument
That's so true.
as to why people
Yo,
should start
that
a
is
personal
so
brand.
True, bro. If you want to make money online, start making money online, click the link down below in the description. You'll see a ebook down there on, especially if you're in a 9 to 5 and you're trying to transition over and you don't know how to approach, make sure you get that ebook, man. It's pretty cheap and it's gonna really help you for real.
And present it as an option for them. So that was the trust matrix. Now let's talk about quickly the best way to monetize as a beginner. The best way to monetize is any way. They literally all work. Ebooks, templates, cohorts, coaching, paid newsletters, sponsorships, freelancing, selling a physical product, whatever. What most people don't understand is that a personal brand isn't a business. It's a traffic source. Founders build a personal brand to get users for their startup. E-commerce brands use UGC to sell physical products. You can quite literally sell anything from bags of coffee to nudes.
Yo,
if
that's how I look at whatever I'm building. It is a traffic for audience, for people, for attention. And I have to orchestrate it even before the people show up. I have to do it in a way to where I'm expecting you to show up. So when you show up, I'm going to be prepared for you when you show up so I can give you the best experience. You know, I might not have the best equipment. I might not have the best, like, I might not be the best, like the best spoken person ever on here, but I'm learning, I'm growing, and I'm, integrating, I'm iterating, like I'm growing. And you guys seeing me on this journey, I feel like there's nothing more powerful than that. And I like these type of content. It really transform your mind and it gives you a different perspective on how, not only what to do but how to approach it. And I like this.
have a trustworthy personal brand. Those without a personal brand need to build trust fast or leverage deeper psychological tactics in the form of direct response marketing to secure the sale. They need to go from ad to conversion as fast as possible. That opens up room for potentially unethical tactics and a sole focus on making quick money. So since we're focused on building a personal brand according to the trust matrix that we just went over, you're in a very good spot. You already have people that want to buy from you. You don't need to worry about the optimization of your landing page or your headline or whatever it may be because your content has already done the selling. Now, I could list out the pros and cons of which kind of product you should build first, but instead I'll say this, I'll just give you a metric. Your first product should take no longer than a week to build because you probably already have a product lying around. As an example, John Hugh from Stan, which is a creator platform that allows you to host digital products and so on and so forth. He won. Congratulations to him and the Stan team. We've grown closer over time. But they recently got Stephen Bartlett from a Diary of a CEO podcast on as a co-owner, which is incredible, and they're going to continue growing. So if you need a creator platform to start out on, I would bet on Stan, and they're the most affordable and well-rounded option to go with anyways. But John Hugh started as a creator on TikTok, and he made career advice videos. And he realized that a lot of people were asking him, okay, what did you do to get the job at Goldman Sachs that he got? And he mentioned his resume here and there, and he eventually just realized, oh, I could just take this resume, put it up for $10 as a template, and he made thousands of dollars doing that. He didn't overcomplicate it. So here's some ideas of what you could do. You could record a 30 to 60 minute training on how to do one impactful thing based on the topic that you talk about, or you can find an old asset that allowed you to get a desirable result and turn it into a template, or you can take a social post that's received good reception and turn it into a short guide or template. Now, we aren't trying to make the big bucks here with this strategy. We're trying to validate an idea that's worth paying for. So start by charging something like $10. Then if your conversion rate is like 2.5% or higher, then consider turning it into a more fleshed out product. That way you don't waste your time building something that people don't want. It really can be that simple. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe. Remember, the Build a Profitable Personal Brand in 30 Days challenge starts on June 16th. And if you'd like deeper letters sent to your inbox every week, consider joining my Substack. The links to both of those are in the description. Thank you for watching again. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Yeah, that was a really good video, man. Thank you. That was a really good video. You don't know I go already, boy, Star Vibes 24/7. Make sure y'all check the description. Check out that ebook. It's gonna change your life, man, for real. And also, there is a, let me see if I can show y'all. This is what it's gonna look like. This one at the top, and then this right here. This is a recipe that I created. Creamy Jamaican jerk potato medley recipe, man. $10. Yeah, you try that, man, you gonna slap your mama, man. It's just so good. But hey, see y'all in the next video.